Is that you're in an inherently controversial field. Just thinking about your run, you've had that challenge with the Colorado River last year turning yellow when mine waste was released accidentally. We're now facing the Flint water crisis where one of your regional managers had to resign. This is your world. You face it every day. So how do you do that both professionally and personally? What helps you get through these?
Well, it's hard for me to separate profession from personal because I have a personal commitment. I mean, I work with 15,000 people whose mission is to protect public health and the environment. We feel that personally, but I don't take it personally. I just, if I did, I'd be cowering in a corner somewhere, and that's kind of not a great job to have. I actually thrive on controversy. If we're not doing something controversial, then we're probably going with the flow of what would have happened anyways. And why bother? Why am I away from my home, my family for all this time, putting in all these hours, if I'm not tackling the tough issues that need to be tackled? And there's always confrontation. There's always differing opinions. I think one of the best educations I had, and this is no slight on Tufts, which was great, was UMass Boston when I did social anthropology. That's when I realized that my view isn't the only one, that my sense of what matters or doesn't is my own, but isn't necessarily shared by everybody else. I actually think other people have legitimate interests. And I actually think it's perfectly appropriate to ask whether or not jobs are going to be lost and whether or not it's going to support the economy, because that's the way in which you design systems that do it all. So I think when you are a public servant, you deserve to actually serve every part of the public. The ones that want to eat well, the ones that want to keep their families safe, the ones that want to breathe, live in a clean community, in a healthy community. And I don't think we need to dissect them. And so I'm not going to take it personally. If someone says that I'm going to lose my job, what am I going to do? I think that's a legitimate question, and I think it deserves to be answered.
You've alluded to the importance of communication, crisis communication. Yeah. Can you give us some examples of how you've used and leveraged?
Good and bad, or could I just
anything
do the
you
want?
Want?
Well, I'll give you an example of the Gold King mine, which was
the Colorado River.
Yeah, it's the Colorado River when there was a whole bunch of mines that were upstream, and my folks were actually there beginning to look at how they could prevent a blowout from happening, because Colorado and the surrounding communities were worried about a blowout, which means a lot of trapped mine waste would come out, and it's very heavily laden with metals. And part of doing that, they actually created a blowout. Now, the thing to remember about this is a whole bunch of things that I'll always remember. The one is that it came the week after the Clean Power Plan, which was my 1 week of vacation. I already couldn't go until Wednesday. I got down there on Wednesday. The Gold King mine accident happened on Thursday or Friday. It was not a good week for me. So I'm looking at the picture of this beautiful yellow river flowing down saying, oh, I think I might have to go back to Washington. I thought my husband was going to kill me. But, talk about crisis management, trying to explain EPA created the problem. You know how many sites we work on? How many thousands where we do the work that nobody else wants to do because they're afraid or they don't know how? And I get the one that happens. And so I think crisis management was you had to be honest about it and say, yes, we did it. We had the best of intentions. We'll look at whether or not we did everything we could in terms of due diligence, and did we make a mistake? And I went down there and I stood up and I said, it's EPA's problem, I'm going to fix it.